Gotta talk fast. Gotta talk fast. Gotta talk faster, faster, faster. Gotta talk fast.
Welcome to an oral review of Archie comics Sonic the Hedgehog, asking you if you know your neighbors' names. No, really, I like this. Do you know their first names? Do they know yours? If something happened to you, would your neighbors know to check on you? If someone went missing, would you know where they could be? Getting to know your neighbors, your physical community, is the strongest form of community self-defense, even more so than individual firearm ownership. Only when communities come together can we finally reach 200 subscribers by the end of the year. So tell your neighbors about our podcast. I'm Nick, and except for this intro, I wrote the script.
And I'm Dominic, and except for this intro, I haven't read any of today's script.
That's a really good message. You should definitely know your communities, your neighbors, make sure that you guys are on a first name basis, and, maybe start learning how to farm and grow vegetables, and maybe start a community garden with your community, because I don't know. We'll see what happens. I need to grab something. Dominic doesn't know what I'm doing. You can monologue.
Okay. The most important thing you can do for yourself right now is to just stay low. The most important thing. If you see someone around getting people's names, they want to do it for the revolution. Don't do that. Just stay calm. I understand people have a need to express themselves during these turbulent times, but the best thing to do now is to just hunker down, lay low, go to work, go to the places you'd normally be going to. But at the same time, take stock of what you have. Take stock and maybe fill some gaps in your first aid kit, your pantry, non-perishables. That's extremely important. Non-perishables. Might be good to get some beans, right? The most important thing that you can do for yourself right now is to just breathe, take stock, and get to know your neighbors. Get to know your community. Get to know the ins and outs. Learn to navigate your neighborhood without a phone, without GPS. Okay? Hold up. Maybe pull back on the DoorDash and Grubhub, okay? If you haven't done it in a really long time, do one more, but that's it. All right? Hold back on that stuff. Hold back on the weed. I'm not a weed hater. I personally don't partake, but you don't need to. I don't think for the amounts that people have been known to take in, I think you don't need as much. I don't think you need that much, right? Update your passport now. The moment you're hearing this, you should have updated your passport. Doesn't mean you need to use it. Just update it. I have to drive.
So this isn't alcohol.
Okay.
I support everything Dominic said, whatever it was. So in my recommended for Amazon, because I'm a horrible person, I still shop at Amazon, G Fuel, Sonic came up in my recommendations. You don't have to drink the whole thing. I know you don't drink a lot of caffeine, but you do have to take a sip.
I need to know the nutrition facts.
What we got here is are you sure this is going to take a minute?
Give me sodium.
Only 79 mg milligrams.
All right.
I think in computers.
All right, here we go. Bottoms up. 1, 2, 3.
This is peach rings. Contains natural and artificial flavors. It's a dietary supplement. We're going to get energy, focus, endurance, and reaction. So I'm going to throw things at you during this podcast while you're reading. And we're going to see what your reaction time is.
I'm going to, the theme for when Sonic gets invincibility?
Yeah.
As soon as I sip it.
Yeah, this is fine. I don't know if I like it that much.
The taste is very. I mean, it's like a soda without the soda. It's a juice, right?
Yeah, it's definitely got like a juice thing going.
It's like a Tropicana juice, which is very, very...
very Tropicana now that you said it.
Which is not good because it's extremely sugary.
Well, you'll be happy to know that there are 0 total sugars. No. Yes. It says 0 grams.
Really?
Dude, science has gone so far. Yeah. We got 1,000 milligrams of taurine, which is bull semen juice. I think that's what it is. Is this what's going on here? Is this you like upset at me? You kick Mike F off first, and now are you gonna kick me off?
It's my house now.
250 milligrams of vitamin C. Yeah, we're good. We're healthy. 140 milligrams of caffeine. That's like 3 cups of coffee.
This episode is brought to you by the r/Sonic Porn subreddit.
I found that the other day. It was so funny.
You found it?
Well, so because I'm an adult.
And that's an adult subreddit.
Yeah, I found it. Okay. No, when I was just like, I want to see what's in this like Sonic subreddit because I haven't like looked at it in a very.
Oh, you literally just looked up Sonic, and then at the bottom,
because I have
not safe for work.
Exactly.
No.
So on the app, it's just like you're looking for Sonic. Are you sure you're not looking for Sonic porn? I do think it's really funny that they just called it Sonic porn. It wasn't like anything creative or anything. It was just like it's just Sonic porn.
Okay,
it's just what it is.
What should it have been?
Oh, I don't know.
Gotta come fast.
Dude, you can't stop giving out our like stream idea names. But like how are we gonna do porn reviews now if someone steals that name? Think, Dominic, think.
That is how we get our Pornhub account. Gotta come fast.
It's gotta come fast. There was something very specific I was going to say, but I don't remember what it is. So let's get this ball rolling because it's already pretty late.
We might have to cut like a lot of that.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Today we're reading Sonic the Hedgehog number 20. Release date December of 1994. Publication date March of 1995. That's the Spirit, Part 1. Script by Angela De Cesare and penciled by Dave Minock. Sonic and Sally have infiltrated one of Robotnik's research facilities looking for the antimatter machine. Instead of just having Sonic run in at the speed of sound and steal said device, they have opted for a more dangerous approach, which is both Sally and Sonic infiltrating at normal speed, allowing them to be spotted by even the most basic of machines. Sally and Sonic swing on a rope above the heads of countless patrolling SWAT bots. A worried and fearful Sally rightly contests to Sonic's plan of literally swinging from ropes above these SWAT bots, Tarzan style. Sonic, of course, makes light of the situation by saying that moments like these are the only time they truly get to talk. Sally, taken aback by Sonic's brazen disregard of their lives, starts detailing exactly what the antimatter device can do, which is that it can make the user invisible. Sonic and Sally have stopped swinging on ropes and are now sneaking down the hallways of Robotnik's metallic facilities. There's a beep coming out of Sally's bag. She opens it, and in sits Nicole, the advanced PDA that Sally, in one of her many potential futures... You didn't complete the sentence.
Oh, I'll finish it for you.
Okay.
That's one of her many potential futures that she sends back in time to herself.
Got it. Okay. Nicole starts beeping and says, I am picking up a heavy concentration of antimatter emissions. Is that the Nicole voice? Can we go with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
You should definitely do simple, because it seems like Nicole might be around for a while.
I think so, too. Finally, she's
a real thing.
So she's just going to be like the smart, the person in the chair.
Yeah.
Interesting. That they don't have a smart, inventive person back at base.
Yeah, maybe like Boomer.
Sonic and Sally turn the corner and find an almost hourglass-looking device with conduit running to both the top and bottom of the device. Inside it, we can see a pinkish red formless gas. Sally starts looking around and notices that there are no guards in the area. Sonic seizes the opportunity and runs in to go and destroy the antimatter machine. As soon as Sonic runs through the door, it closes behind them. Sonic turns around and screams, asking if Sally can hear him. A familiar voice responds. "No, but I can, Hedgehog. I started the rumor about my antimatter machine to lure you here. The truth is, I failed in getting the device to work. But the antimatter won't matter once you've been roboticized." Sonic looks up and sees the head of Robotnik on a giant screen in front of him. He turns and looks around and sees 5 SWAT bots around him, closing in. Sonic opens up a bag that he's had with him the entire time, that I'm not going to edit in earlier in the script to make it seem like he always had the backpack with him because I'm feeling lazy and Dominic is going to be at my house in 3 hours, and I still need to unpack from my trip to Houston and clean a little and take a shower.
I never got to that shower.
Do we think Sonic approves of run-on sentences? I think he would. Sonic pulls out a bomb that Rotor gave him earlier that day. He starts to throw the bomb when he trips. The bomb flies towards the failed antimatter experiment. Ba-boom! Hours later, we found Rotor, Buns, Antoine, and Tails walking along the forest where they find Sally, smoldering, covered in dirt, and crawling. Rotor screams out, "Sally, are you all right?" Sally responds, There was an explosion at Robotnik's headquarters. I barely got out alive." Buns cries out, "Where's Sonic?" Sally responds, He was caught in the explosion. There's no way he could have survived." Tails also cries out, "Sally, what are you saying?" "I'm saying that Sonic is gone, Tails. He sacrificed himself to destroy a device that would have doomed the Freedom Fighters." The Freedom Fighters cannot believe their ears. The unthinkable has happened. Sonic the Hedgehog is dead. End of part 1.
How you liking it? Where are we at? What's the vibes?
It really has not. Every time you do the Sonic the Hedgehog is dead gag, it's so freaking true.
Yeah.
It's such a good. I mean, it's not even a gag. It's just pointing out the obvious. But it's like every freaking time, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can see how people who constantly like defy death, like thrill seekers.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, parachutists. People who do jump off of bridges with the bungee jumping, right? All that stuff. Rock climbing, free form rock climbing.
You're just talking about
Tom Cruise from Mission Impossible 2.
No, I mean yes. You're just talking about Swayze from Point Break.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. What you're implying is Sonic needs to go for the ultimate thrill, which is robbing some banks.
That would be pretty sick, though. An alternate, like the evil Sonic,
the riverboat Sonic. He's definitely he's definitely stealing.
He's got the accent and he's like throwing. He's like Gambit, where he's like throwing aces at people.
I find it interesting that Robotnik is straight up like, yeah, I never actually figured it out. Like, why would he admit that? Like in what he believes is like Sonic's final moments, he's gonna like admit that he's not that smart. It feels weird. It feels like a bad characterization.
Maybe, it's like he has senioritis. Or it's like, that last like 2 months of school, of high school, you're like, nothing matters. I am freaking done.
Nothing anti-matters.
Shut the hell up.
I'm freaking done.
Congratulations.
Put a fork in it.
That was a good one. I have to admit.
There is, there's this image of, I just gotta put a post-it on the screen that says just don't say because I say I thought we were gonna shock you. Yeah, I joked with Dominic that he should get me a shock collar, and they have shock like wristbands. Yeah, and he'll shock me whenever I say it, but I don't want it to awaken anything in me. Damn it! Now I'm gonna like super notice it whenever I say it. Tails and Rotor look unbelievably evil in like one random panel. Yeah, what is with that coloring? So they made an interesting choice with coloring where like Boomer and Tails I think are in shadow, and the only things you see are the whites of their eyes, but they're colored red. It's extremely intense. Also, the glove rim on
Tails' thing, on Tails' glove, sorry.
Yeah, and the tips of their nose for some reason. It's anything that was white.
Yeah, it's very clearly not to signify anything like emotional or, character driven. It's like literally like coloring choice.
Yeah. And then a really weird tooth or something.
Yeah, I don't understand either.
Outside of...
It's a typical setup. It's a typical setup.
Yeah, typical setup.
The biggest thing for me is that Nicole is part of the routine now.
Yeah, finally. My biggest thing is just like most of their plans don't make sense in the context of he's the fastest thing alive. Why is he bringing Sally? Is it to, this is my thing is like, I think I just need one thing of like, I need you to identify the antimatter device because I'm a dumbass and I don't know what that's going to look like. And then I would instantly be like, okay, that's why Sally's there.
Right. But I mean, he did say it's the only time that they get to talk. So it's like an emotional.
That's the real thing is he's just like, yeah, I like to put your life in danger because you think that's his fetish? Putting the person he loves in danger, and he gets off on the idea Sally almost dying. He doesn't. He's gonna come buckets after this.
He hasn't paid the price yet. He hasn't paid any consequence for it. Like she's still around.
Well, I mean, he dies a lot.
He dies a lot, but not her.
Yeah,
that's all that matters. Maybe he just needs this time. He is such a teenager. He is such a cocky teenager that he doesn't think anyone's going to get hurt, and it's like this is just like the old times, where it's like we're constantly having these adventures, and no one's gotten hurt from it yet.
So you think someone needs to die or get like Tails permanently in a wheelchair for Sonic to like stop doing this?
If they do like a full on like Batman Barbara Gordon Oracle thing, where she's like, yeah, she her legs got messed up. And she's in a wheelchair permanently now because Batman didn't kill the Joker. Like, yeah, that is maybe that'd be a really good plot point where they kill off a random like one-off character or like, yeah, that'd be a good plot point. I think, for a future story.
Yeah, you just want people to die because you're a sicko.
I want stakes.
I want steaks. Rare, medium rare.
Yeah.
I just need some A1, man.
I think okay. I feel like if you ask for the A1, that's like an insult.
To the steak?
To the steak, and also to the person making it.
I said it as a joke. I actually don't like A1 steak sauce, like, at all.
I've never even tried it because it's like, this is good. I don't need A1.
I'm trying to think, do I put anything on my steaks? And I don't think I do.
No, because, I mean butter, but they should already put butter on top of it, right? Not should, but like, if that's a choice. That's literally all I can think of is butter.
Sometimes I will do... So A1 steak sauce isn't something I have around, right?
Yeah, you shouldn't need it if you're cooking it right.
Well, also, I don't think it tastes good with anything else.
I genuinely don't know.
Steak sauce is fine. It's not something I'll defend, but I could let me put it this way. If I was someone who ate steaks a lot, then every now and then,
maybe let's change
do
it
some
up.
Steak sauce.
Sure,
let's do some steak sauce.
If you're like a steak a week, I can see how.
I know people who were a steak a week,
that's insane to me,
dude. Yeah, it really was. And so I lived with that person, and for a while, I was also eating like a steak a week. And so every now and then, I was definitely like, yeah, you know what? What's the word? I'm slum it up with some sauce. And plus, it wasn't like the highest quality steaks. So
that's fair. I mean, look, at that point, if that's the case, then sure. But yeah, I don't know. If I ever get a steak at a restaurant, I'm not gonna get the A1.
Why am I drinking this? It's 8:30 at night. I'm gonna go to sleep after.
Oh, you're fucked. You're fucked, my guy. That was your own doing. You didn't have to do this bit today.
Yeah, I know, but I was excited because I had it.
Oh. Yeah, you're fucked. Okay.
Let's go to part 2.
That's the spirit. Part 2. We are in the ruins of the factory. Debris everywhere. We hear someone among the debris, but we don't see anyone. Ha! I knew I could do it. Robotnik thought he could trap me, but I saw through his trick. We see an outline of Sonic, colorless. The steel door that trapped him earlier comes falling out of the sky, landing on top of Sonic. Sonic is unfazed. He is now standing in the door.
I really like that joke. Sorry. You didn't acknowledge it. I want people to know that was on purpose.
That's pretty good. Sonic, unsure of what is going on, decides to find the freedom fighters to see if they have an understanding. Sonic runs to Knothole and sees the freedom fighters standing around something covered in cloth. Sonic starts screaming out to the freedom fighters, but no one hears him. Instead, we overhear Sally giving a speech. And so, we dedicate this statue of our fallen comrade, the bravest freedom fighter of them all. Buns pulls a rope, and a statue of Sonic the Hedgehog appears. It is sadly a statue not worthy of Sonic the Hedgehog. His proportions seem off. Sonic looks a little cross-eyed, and his famous spikes on the back of his head are jutting out in every direction. Tails, the local artist and only creative one in the freedom fighters' midst, refuses to make the statue because he believes that Sonic is still alive, leaving the task to Rotor.
A moment of silence for Sonic the Hedgehog. I guess we get one ring at the 30. So the reason why this is happening is now I live across the street from two churches. One of them always does it at the hour, and the other one rings some bells at the half hour. So I'm like in hell now. I was okay with every hour, but every half hour actually annoys the shit out of me.
Rotor, turns out, is not an artist. Sonic keeps shouting out to the freedom fighters, but no one responds. Sonic comes to the realization that he is a ghost. He leaves and starts to wander into the great forest, trying to figure out what advantage there is to being a ghost. He concludes that there are no advantages and tries to kick a rock. However, he actually kicks the rock and it goes flying. Sonic screams out in pain, and a nearby frog is startled by Sonic's scream and jumps into the pond. Sonic realizes that when the antimatter machine blew up, it made him a ghost, and the effects seem to be wearing off. Sonic runs to Knothole Village only to find a note written by Tails. Dear Sonic, I know you're alive, so I left this note. We're on our way to Robotropolis to avenge your death. Your loyal pal, Tails. P.S. If you are dead, then pay no attention to this letter. Sonic cries out, Oh no! If they take on Robotnik, they'll be annihilated! End of part 2. They have committed to the premise.
Yeah. There's a running theme that I really like, which is like, I think Sonic thinks all of his teammates fucking suck. Because more than a few times, Sonic is just like, you can't do that. Sit down. I need to take care of this. Don't even try to help. And every single time they do something like this, where they're like, I'm going to go like do this thing, Sonic's just like, you're going to fucking die. No. And like, it's what, I mean, maybe he's kind of right. I don't know. But I do love the core concept of Sonic being like, no, only I can handle Robotnik, and you guys do whatever you're going to do.
And yet he still brings along Sally.
Yeah, right? Right? The princess of the resistance, or I guess queen.
The figurehead.
Yeah, the figurehead. The one person that... Okay, so...
Effectively the queen, yeah.
I've been watching Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
Next Gen. And I've never seen it before. I've only seen the original series. And I found it so funny.
Same. Yeah.
Where one of my favorite parts of the old series is how insane it is in the context of Captain Kirk is the head of the Enterprise. He's the number one guy.
He's literally the captain.
He's the most important person there, and he's beaming himself down to these unknown planets constantly.
It's like if the president of the United States deployed himself to Iraq.
It's so fucking funny. Every single time I'm just like, why is Kirk here? It doesn't make any sense for any of these people to be here.
From a television standpoint, it does make sense because it's like, oh, I want to see the main cast in the adventures. But it does. Yeah, you're right. It makes no sense.
Well, and so I've never seen Next Gen. I'm not very far. I'm only on episode 10 or
But Picard stays in the ship.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Is it's very obvious that Next Gen is a response to the original series. And it's let's do this kind of accurately, where he's just no, Riker, you go, you figure things out, you report back to me. Maybe something happens where I need to go down to be a delegate because it's
it's a diplomatic situation.
Exactly.
We just found a new species.
So sometimes he'll go down, sometimes he won't. It makes way more sense than Kirk just being like, let's just go down there and see what's fucking happening, man. And then they end up in like 1930s Chicago. Man.
My favorite original series episode, it's like the concept is, hey, what if it was Earth, but Rome never fell? So now everything's just Roman. And I'm like, that's not how that works, guys.
But also, it's great.
Or like Nazi Spock disguised as a Nazi.
One of my favorite episodes, it's fucking insane. Sorry to go on a random Star Trek rant. Is just like he found a planet or something that had the old Greek gods. And so the whole premise was the Greek gods were real. They just went to Greece and just like hung out with humans a bit. And like fucked with them and shit.
I kind of like that though.
No, I love it. And then they're like, cool, worship us, we're out. And then they just went back to their planets. So it's like Kirk hanging out with like Poseidon and shit.
So God is real.
Yeah. Well, that's undiscovered country.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, I really like Star Trek.
I like it too. Do you like it more than Star Wars?
Oh yeah, 1,000%. Yeah.
Do you like it more? What is your favorite piece of Star Wars media? Have you seen Andor yet?
No.
Okay. I'm not saying that Andor will completely change it because it won't. Knowing you, it won't. But I think and season 2 just got announced for this year for 2025. So I think we need to do an Andor watch.
Yeah, I definitely will. My favorite Star Wars media is definitely probably Battlefront 1 and 2.
Okay, I did say media.
Xbox.
So yes, the original.
I think you meant
like movies and TVs.
TV.
Yeah.
That's the original trilogy.
Yeah. No, but the original Battlefronts 1 and 2 were fantastic. Are still fantastic.
Yeah. Which also, for the record, I'm not even like the biggest fan of the original trilogy.
That's fair.
I just feel like people, when you start saying stuff like that, you're like, oh, you hate new Star Wars because it's woke or something. And I'm like, no, I hate all Star Wars. That's
because it was also woke.
Yeah, no, I was always on the side of the Empire.
That's why I watched Star Trek.
Yeah, the most unwoke.
All right, here we go. That's the Spirit, Part 3. Sonic the Hedgehog is dead. Let us observe a respectful moment of silence. Whoa! That was a real Mario one, wasn't it?
Hey, you know, I think, given the context, he would give out a Mario Wahoo.
Because it's like, I don't know how else you do a Wahoo without going into falsetto. It's like, whoa!
Actually, that's how you do it. Yeah. That's exactly how you do it.
Yeah! Yippee! Sonic is destroyed. Mobius is mine, and no one can stop me. No one. Snively decides to burst Robotnik's bubble by reminding him that there are other freedom fighters and that they also may be a concern. Insect! Do you dare suggest that the freedom fighters can defeat me without the cursed hedgehog? Not at all, sir. I simply meant that they are going to try and defeat you, oh hostile one. Observe, they are approaching the city. They look at a giant surveillance monitor with the freedom fighters on it, approaching the city. We cut to the freedom fighters outside of Robotropolis, with Sally giving a speech. You all know the plan. One of us has somehow got to find Robotnik, and for him to surrender once and for all. Which is not a plan, it's the end goal of a plan, but that's definitely not a plan.
I literally laughed out loud when she said it because I'm like, where's the plan? You just said something you want to happen, which is like, yeah, of course, I want $1 million. Where is it? That's what she just did.
And it's so fucking true. The number, like, the moment you have that in your head, the number of, like, TV, movie, like, plans are not plans. Mm-hmm. It's just exclamations of, like, it's a motivation that the author is trying to give the reader, but it's not a plan.
Yeah.
This is an attempt at a prelude. Okay.
That's very funny. I mean, I wonder if I've read that before. Like, it just like stuck in the back of my mind or something.
You could have, but I believe you that it's an original observation because it's so freaking true. All right, here we go. They look up and see a giant buzzard mech flying towards the freedom fighters, being piloted by both Robotnik and Snively. Robotnik is getting ready to attack when they hear a voice. Hope you don't mind that I hitched a ride. Robotnik and Snively panic and look around, but see no one. Sonic grabs the wheel of the ship and starts to crash the ship in a nosedive. Robotnik and Snively are hurt and laying on the ground when he hears Sonic's voice saying that he is the ghost of Sonic here to take revenge. Robotnik doesn't believe in ghosts. Still, Robotnik and Snively quickly put on their parachutes and jump out of the plane, just as Sonic started to turn visible again. We cut to the freedom fighters, staring in awe of the fact that Robotnik seems to have jumped out of the plane for no reason. Just then, Sonic walks up and explains to the freedom fighters that he never was a ghost. Everyone cheers and Sally makes an extremely creepy and evil face in her last panel. The end.
Yeah. Look how creepy that is.
It's meant to be like loving.
Oh, I know what it's meant to be.
But it's just too, yeah.
Oh, zooming in doesn't really work well.
It really does not. Yes, okay. So stop it. Just stop it. I'm going to do it again.
I'm going to make it way worse.
You know it equalizes, right? It literally...
Oh, yeah, it sure does.
Yep.
Well, I know that now, after I tried.
3 times.
Shh. How'd you like the overall?
Okay, I liked how this was effectively like a suicide mission.
Yeah.
This is like, it's like when a battle is lost, but we're going to do a charge anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that they're all dressed in like...
I didn't find a good way of like describing it in the comics, so I didn't. But they are all dressed in
in burglary clothes.
Yeah, in burglary clothes. Yep, 100%.
With the wool sweaters and the wool caps with the turtleneck sweaters and caps.
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know why they chose this. They attack Robotnik all the time, and they never decided to wear this before. But like, I guess when Sonic's not around, they have to wear this. I don't know. I absolutely loved it.
It is funny, the idea of just them watching Robotnik about to fuck them.
And then
right? And then just jumping out of the plane for no reason. That is funny.
Mech rating?
Yes.
This is a mech, I think it's a mech.
It is a mech.
It can land. They're controlling it. It
could have had more weapons that we never got to see.
Well, it does. On the beak.
On the nose.
It's got,
on the nose holes.
like machine guns and stuff.
You're right. It's a mech.
It's a mech.
So what would you give it? Out of 10.
This is a solid one. I really like this guy.
You like the design?
Mostly. I like...
How do you like it from that angle where it's looking straight down?
Yeah. No, I like it. Okay. I like it. I don't like the color, but I don't hold colors really against anything in these series because I think that comes down to not artistic decisions, but logistics and like material being used and whatnot.
Right.
So like, I don't like that color red, but I don't hate it. It's branded with a giant R.
This is the scan, we should say, not the original.
I don't think this is the original scan.
I'm so sorry. I literally messed up the definitions.
Yeah.
It is not a scan. Sorry. Yes. Yeah.
So to describe the mech, it's supposed to be was it a vulture? I don't remember. Or
you said buzzard.
Buzzard. Yes. And so it's got wings. It's got claws coming out. It's got a nice beak with guns on it. Its eyes are windshields where Snively and Robotnik are hanging out.
Yeah.
And it's got just like a jet in the back.
It's really sleek by Robotnik standards.
It's actually you're very good observation. I agree.
It almost makes it like, why did he come up with this? This does not look like you, Robotnik.
So the thing that I find interesting is I don't know how, and this is me looking too hard at it.
Right.
How does taking off and landing work?
I'm assuming on the feet.
Okay, so then that implies that when it lands, the bat can go vertical and he can just shoot straight up.
So it's called VTOL. Vertical takeoff and landing. So it's like a Harrier jet from Metal Gear Solid 2.
I love you, but you're such a...
What? No. What? Is that not what you're talking about?
No, you're right. I love the fact you know this. It's just like I said it, and you instantly was like, yeah, that's what this is. And I'm like, of course you know what this is. There's I think it's the Harrier jet that can do the vertical landings.
Right.
I only know that because of Metal Gear Solid.
Yes. I do. Okay, so I'm looking way too deep into this probably, but how many times has Robotnik done an animal for a robot, for a mech?
Isn't
Just
it
off the top of your head. Beetle mech, you can kind of say because it's an insect, sure, but like a mammal or a bird.
I mean, isn't it 100%? Is there a mech that hasn't been? Oh, the leg one.
The leg one, yeah, the leggy one that Tails.
Yeah,
that Tails defeated on his own.
So we'll say 95% are mammal based.
I think it's curious that in the games, or at least the very first game, right, that we played, at some point we will release that gameplay. But in the games, it's all about the egg.
Yeah.
Right? Where it's like everything is egg based, which makes sense because he's an egomaniac.
Well, also his name was Eggman.
Right, exactly. And he's an egomaniac. Whereas Robotnik in the comics, he's basing it off of nature. Right?
Yeah.
Which seems counterintuitive to his character's motivation.
I wonder if there is a aspect of it where, granted, he might not like mammals, but can respect that they evolve in a way that makes sense in terms of like their size and like what they are.
Sure.
And so while he might not like the thing he's making, he acknowledges that this is like the most efficient way to make it because biology has already done it.
So he's like, I can make it better.
Yeah, that's his whole thing.
I think I might have said that in an earlier episode then. But either way, okay, I can dig that.
I adore Robotnik wearing his sky goggles.
Yeah.
I honestly, if you're listening to the podcast, just like look at the image that we're putting on the screen. It's very funny. I also like the mech, the fact that it's got a normal steering wheel.
Yeah, that's weird.
I think that's fucking cool. Give me more flying things that require just like old-fashioned steering wheels.
You want like a Sky Zeppelin. You want Skies of Arcadia. That's what you want.
That is 1,000%.
Once I know your favorite thing, like once you know Nick's top 10 favorite things, you kind of just automatically, every observation he makes is just getting back to those top 10 favorite things.
These top 10 things are very good. Why don't more things just be like that? Because they already made it and it's good. And no one else is making anything good like that.
I want to watch you play Skies of Arcadia because I've never played it before.
So obviously we're going to make this into content now, but my problem with JRPGs as content is when they're not voiced, it becomes, obviously I don't think we should like sit there and voice it. But also, that you're
time for 27 hours of Dominic trying to voice a JRPG.
I think that'd be really funny and really dumb.
Yes,
but only in the context of us.
Yes,
I think other people doing it is dumb. No,
only we can do this bit.
Yes, actually, but yeah, when it comes to like a lot of text on screen, there's assumptions that people are half watching and can't fully engage with the material. So, and while I'm not against uploading and doing content based on voiceless JRPGs and stuff, it does make me wary.
Without hearing the voices.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you ever play we're going on tangent after tangent, I'm sorry, but have you ever played Lunar?
I want to. That's on my list.
I played it as a literal child.
Did you have a Saturn?
No, I had a PlayStation. It was the Lunar Story Complete. Lunar Story Complete, which was the port. And because I was so young, I'm like, I'm too young for this. Like, I was like, I don't understand what's happening here. I'm not smart enough to like navigate. I don't even know what a town is as a child yet. So like, I can't. So I was literally in that opening. I don't think I even made it to the first dungeon. So I was literally just, because like it's fully animated, like full anime cutscenes. And I'm like, bro, this is awesome. Let me just watch this. Oh, I have to play it. Okay.
I don't know if the original, yeah, I probably did. Yeah. How can I word this? I am someone who will always gas up Skies of Arcadia. More people need to play Skies of Arcadia. One of my favorite games on the Dreamcast. The GameCube port is pretty good. When I was talking about Sonic Adventure, Skies of Arcadia was like the very first game that I played that felt like I was going on an adventure.
Wow. Okay.
Because it's all about exploring. And so you're just like, hey, what's over here? And they gate you, don't get me wrong, but they give you this area to like, you just go wherever you want. And you go, and they've rewarded exploring, while like Ocarina of Time, when I played it, which is like around the same time I played Skies of Arcadia. It was like 98, or no, Skies of Arcadia came out in like 2000. Doesn't matter. I'm going on a tangent. Ocarina of Time definitely felt like I was going on an adventure, but everything felt very empty when you go out into the field and whatnot. There's while there seems like there's a lot to do in that field, it's just like a lot of nothing. And there, outside of towns, there wasn't really like a lot to explore. And so while Ocarina,
is it like Wind Waker in a way, where it's like instead of skies, it's like the open water?
You're talking, yes.
Sorry, Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. My bad.
Yeah. No, I thought you were talking about Ocarina of Time and Wind Waker, comparing the two, not Skies of Arcadia.
Right. Okay.
I think people who made Wind Waker looked at Skies of Arcadia and like, yeah, we can.
Got it.
Let's do this. Maybe not that close, but
sure. The elements of it. All right, here we go. Deadliest of the species. Prologue. Skirt.
Yeah, skirt.
Every now and then, you
just gotta skirt it.
Just gotta skirt. You see that one clip of that dude where it's Jeopardy, and it's like, this rap hip hop saying is very popular, or whatever the question was, and the guy goes, "What is skirt?" And he wins.
That's awesome.
He gets that.
I love it.
That question. All right. Deadliest of the Species. Prologue. Script by Mike Kanternovich and Ken Penders. Penciled by Art Mahwini. We open on a rubber duck floating on still water at night, swimming towards the dock for Robotropolis Energy Substation 3857. The duck floats towards a ladder, and Sally emerges from under the duck. The duck appears to be a helmet/disguise. She climbs up the ladder and is greeted with a wall. She pulls out a hook shot and latches to the top of the wall, climbing it. On the other side, there is a SWAT bot. She jumps onto it and electrocutes the SWAT bot with what appears to be shock paddles. The SWAT bot is destroyed. Sally runs off to find a ventilation shaft where she pulls out Nicole and unlocks it. She crawls in and finds a supercomputer. Sally gets an access code from the computer and then initiates a self-destruct sequence. Sally runs out of the facility and starts sneaking out of the 1984-esque city of Robotropolis. On her escape, she bumps into a skunk wielding a crossbow, wearing a green scarf and a bandolier. The two look at each other, Sally holding a grenade egg, cocked and ready to be thrown. The skunk with a crossbow with a sleep arrow pointed right at Sally. They start having a conversation until Sally says they need to leave before the explosion. The skunk replies, "What explosion?" Which makes no fucking sense. The explosion clearly didn't happen yet, and Sally said they need to leave before the explosion. The correct response would be, where is the explosion going to be? Or when is the explosion going to be? What explosion means this man is a dumbass who thinks he's way past cool but isn't. Unlike Sonic, who is way past cool. Or Cool Sonic, who is way past her cooler. That was it. That was the one.
I forgot to finish the script, and I literally just needed to write like 5 sentences, and Dominic was like just sitting there reading something on his phone, and I just burst out laughing, and I'm like, this is one of the dumber things I've ever written, and I'm so glad I'm writing it.
Unlike Sonic, who is way past cool, or Cool Sonic, who is wayer past her cooler. That's aces. That should win the fucking Oscar right there.
That's the title of the episode. Cool Sonic, wayer past her cooler.
Remind me, if I upload it and you see it's not that, immediately just change it to that. There's no argument. Anyway, the place explodes.
Everything's downhill from here.
He wrote that. Anyway, this place explodes. Sally and the skunk are thrown from the explosion. The skunk gets up and says, "Oh, is she done, love? Save me the trouble of blowing that place to Kingdom Come myself. The skunk reaches out his hand and helps Sally to her feet. Sally says that any enemy of Robotnik is a friend of mine, and to call her Sally. The skunk stands at attention and salutes. Jeffrey St. John, late of His Majesty's Secret Service, current leader of the Rebel Underground. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. Sally states that she's never heard of a Rebel Underground. We pride ourselves on maintaining a low profile, my lady. On the QT, so to speak. We end the issue on a SWAT bot having its sights on Sally with the words, ready, aim, fire. The end. For now.
I didn't realize he said, until you said it out loud, His Majesty's Secret Service. And I was just like, you fucker.
Wait, did you not think this was a James Bond reference?
No, I just didn't catch that James Bond reference.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it was very clearly, you look at the...
I was about to point that out. Like, the first panel.
Yeah, the first panel is the barrel gun that is in all the opening credit scenes for Bond.
Yeah.
I don't...
So, yeah, what do you think about the Bond movies? I'm serious, but I wanted to make that joke.
One second. And then I'll answer that. This duck, I don't get what's going on here. It's just a duck. I thought maybe it was a security camera, like a camera or something, so that she could see underwater while like going, or like maybe it was like providing air to her. But it's just a duck on a helmet, and I don't get what's happening.
Yeah, why not just swim underwater?
Yeah, I don't know.
Why do you need the duck?
I don't know. It like bothered me a lot. I went back and I looked at this.
It's a bright yellow duck.
If anything, it's more suspicious.
That isn't roboticized.
Well, yeah,
and this guy, Robotnik, he hates biomatter.
Yeah, if anything, it's more of a red flag seeing this real-looking duck swim up, because they're like, well, we gotta kill it. We gotta roboticize this thing.
Have you seen Fury starring Brad Pitt, Shia LaBeouf?
No.
Okay. There's a scene where where Brad Pitt is like sitting out of a tank, and is like, I think they've captured the town, and like they're capturing all the Nazis, and it's like, hey, shoot that guy. He literally just says that, like, because it's an SS motherfucker, and it's like, yeah, shoot that guy, and it's like, because like, so now I'm thinking it's like like the Sentry should have been like, hey, you see that? Yeah, shoot that duck. Like that's the default mode for these things.
Exactly.
We know this.
Yeah.
Why would you? This is the dumbest disguise. That's not even a disguise. Yeah.
Yeah. This bothered me so much.
What was the point?
Yep.
It should have been like Sonic Snake.
Yeah. You know, there's a real chance that exists.
Yeah. It should have been like Solid Snake in the opening of MGS1. That way they can go doo, 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 doo.
Speaking of just wildly just throwing in our own renditions of songs, that Sky Chase Zone thing in the last episode where I was like,
yeah.
I realized that my brother was referencing something from like Sonic 2, I think. And
so I wasn't that.
I was referencing Sonic Adventure because
because I think I did try looking it up while I was editing. I was like, this doesn't check out.
Yeah, no. It's it has a very specific name, and I think it's still Sonic Adventure OST. Let me look at the track listings. I can tell you exactly which song I was thinking of. Tornado Scramble for Sky Chase.
Can you play it? You know what that sound is called? Pause it.
Sorry, the song is good.
That's okay.
Though.
No. You know what that sound effect is called?
What?
It's called orchestra hit.
Okay.
And it's obviously MIDI, so it's not the perfect recreation, but it's meant to recreate when orchestras do like piccato, like hard hits. So it's like pum, but instead it's like super compressed. And now it's just such a unique sound that it evokes something completely different now. But that's what that sound effect is called. That goes. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it was a good song. Yeah. And that's so that if you listen to the last episode and you were like, what the fuck is he thinking? Like, it doesn't sound anything like that. That's what I was.
Okay.
Back to what we're supposed to be talking about. I always get annoyed. Like, I obviously
when there's a woman in charge.
Yeah, it's. Thank God. No, I can't even finish it. The core concept of like, we don't know what Sally's doing. She just came here to blow this up. But like, it seems like she's downloading information. Mm-hmm. I kind of took a leap of logic when I wrote down that she downloaded access codes, because it does say access codes established, decryption, and then command link achieved. Mm-hmm. So I was just like, okay, maybe she's like putting in a back door into Robotropolis or something and then heading out
while also blowing it up.
Yeah.
The substation. Yeah.
That's the only thing I can think of, because otherwise, why not just put down a bomb and just leave? Right? Like,
well, no, I mean, to be fair, if Nicole can just do it and without using material, just use the...
Yeah, I guess.
Then that'll save you money on the material on making a bomb.
I will say, from a creative art style perspective, so she does the countdown, mm-hmm. and then throughout the panels, they just have the countdown going down. That's 21, cool. 2019. I stylistically, I actually really like this. I think that's really clever. Mm-hmm. But also, there's no way she went out this grate in the air duct, crawled out, got all the way to here, and had this whole conversation in 23 seconds.
Yeah, that's... If I ever planted a bomb, hypothetically speaking...
yeah, I'm putting it down for 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
Yeah, no. So, okay.
10 hours.
During World War II, the British commando raid on... it was in Western France. I forget the name of the town. It was Operation Chariot. They crashed... it was a false flag operation. So literally they had a ship full of just thousands of British commandos ready to just spill out and just wreck shit. And it was false flag. So it was the German flag. They crashed the boat into, was it the Tirpitz? I forget. It was another, like a major, like battleship, like a flagship, right? And then once they crashed it, they just started like shooting shit, blowing shit up, just complete chaos, like a good raid is. And then they escaped into the French countryside. But then they also put a delay timer inside the ship that they had, so that the next day when the Germans were cleaning up, it's like, man, look at all the shit that they wrecked.
Hell yeah.
There were like hundreds of like Germans and local French people that they hired, and they blew.
we ignore that part.
Yeah, we ignore that part. But it was a delay timer by like 24 hours or whatever, and it blew up like a lot more people because of that. And it's like, yeah, that's what a seasoned commando raid would be like.
Yep.
Not like, give me 30 seconds to escape, to crawl through this vent.
Yeah, that annoyed me.
I kind of just wanted to show off that knowledge.
No, my favorite part of this podcast is the fact that, because I'm a dumbass. And I don't know anything about history, and you're like, let me teach you everything about history.
If you want to live that commando raid, you can play Medal of Honor European Assault. It's one of the last few World War II Medal of Honor games. That's pretty good. Very good theme.
And if you want to understand how we got here as a society, you should play Metal Gear Solid 2. How did you like, what's his name? Jeffrey, was it?
Yeah, I mean...
Geoffrey?
Stop.
It's one of those, right? How do you say it?
Geoffrey St. John?
It's not Geoffrey?
No, it's never that. Jeffrey St. John.
Oh, it's Geoffrey.
Geoffrey?
Geoffrey?
Jeffrey St. John. I don't like his outfit.
I think he looks like someone...
Looks like a twink, which is cool, but like, be a twink.
I think he is someone who looks like... How can I word this? This is what they think cool is. And it's just lame. Yeah. That is how I interpret his looks. He's got this lame-looking handkerchief. He's got a crossbow, and it's his attitude too. It's very written like a cool guy, or at least written by someone who thinks they're writing a cool guy, where he's just like, thanks for blowing up the like place so I don't have to.
Nicely done, love. Save me the trouble of blowing the place up. I keep to come myself. Nah, that's just annoying.
Yeah. I don't. I wasn't joking when I said I don't like my first impression of this guy.
Is he supposed to be dashing? I don't get dashing from this.
No, he might be a piece of shit. If he's a piece of shit, I might actually turn around on him. But
if he's written to be another cocky asshole and like a womanizer, what if he's a womanizer? That'd be pretty sick character. And it'd
just be pretty cool.
No, so for the record, when I say things like that, where it's like, oh, I hope this character is like a womanizer, I hope this character is like racist. What I want is
interesting conflict.
Yeah, I want interesting societal depth and commentary. That's what I want.
Well, that and like people evolving and becoming better and like changing.
100%, because right now everything is very perfect and it's very cartoonish. And for the record, to be fair, we're on issue 20, so there's plenty of room. And I understand.
Yeah, we only have like 10 years to find out if things improve or not.
Right, and maybe the original comics had a mandate to just be goofy, be wild and wacky 90s, which is clearly what it seemed like.
Yeah.
So I will, for this era of comics, what Bobby Schroeder calls the early years, for the first 70 or so issues, 71 issues, I will always give it that 5% of leeway. I'll be like, okay, you can build. I'm giving you room to build to something. And this is the second Kantornovich and Pender's story beyond the Princess Sally special, or the first where they find Nicole.
Yeah,
which was lame. I will give kudos because this is such a short story and it's such a setup to so far nothing.
I mean, the next issue is
it this?
No, yeah, specifically the miniseries for Princess Sally.
I don't read ahead.
Well, I don't either, but I study the
list, yeah.
The Bobby Schroeder's list because
you're right.
We're like, what does she say? Who's next? Because I need to know because I need to write the episode.
But in terms of that, I will say I like this. This is subterfuge. This is doing guerrilla warfare.
I actually super agree with that. I like the attempt that they're doing here. My weirdness, I really wish that they would just commit to her not being a princess, and like,
yeah, why was she by herself?
Yeah,
how can she be by herself?
Or like at least acknowledge that she's not like the head of the freedom fighters or something, right? Because there's
like a council or whatever.
Yeah, because the only way this makes sense to me, and this is me being broken. This is me being like, if I was in this writer's room, I'd be like, no, you're sending like Antoine to do this or something. Right. You don't send Sally.
At the very least.
But I know they want to make like a woman-focused story and everything. So cool. Buns. Make it Buns.
Make it Buns. Who can like kick ass if she needs to.
Yeah. Give Nicole the Buns.
She has utility. She can like stretch her legs.
Yeah. It seems that, so the only way I will be like, okay, I accept this is if she's like taking on some sort of like morally gray mission where like the freedom fighters would be like, no, we don't fucking do this. What are you doing? And she's like, no, we have to. I have to make the hard decision, which I don't even know if that would ever work in the context of Robotnik because he is a dictator and everything you do is like
justified.
Exactly. Right.
Look, I'm just saying, I agree with that sentiment. I just want to mirror it. We would probably have way more respect for Richard Nixon if he was the one bombing Cambodia. Like,
okay, you know what?
The controls.
Yeah,
like, hey, you know what? That's shitty, but he had the balls to be in that plane. Him and Kissinger.
Yeah, if Truman pushed that bomb out from the back of the plane, if he was the one, I'd be like, you know what? Yeah, he hated the Japanese a lot, but you know what? At least he had the cojones
to do it
himself. Yeah, no, I would definitely respect Nixon more when he destroyed Cambodia if he was the one pushing the button to just firestorm it, to napalm it all up. The respect would go from like 0 to 0.1.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, okay, hey, you know what? Respect.
You're willing to commit genocide? Cool.
You pull the trigger? Okay. No, in terms of another thing that I really like about this aspect, and they spell it out right there, is that because the general resistance movements against Robotnik are so underground because things are so oppressive and so bad. Mm-hmm. They're not even talking to each other.
Yeah, I actually do like that a lot.
That is such an interesting, because like, yeah, okay, there's a second group. what is this?
Yeah, they just happen to just live on like the west side of Robotropolis instead of the east. Yeah,
that's how that works. Actually,
I know. Yeah.
Maybe there's dozens of rebels groups. Now, I will say, going back to the thing about Princess Sally being on the why is she doing a solo mission by herself, or
and maybe the mini series will explain it. Maybe
true. Maybe
we shouldn't be jumping the gun here. This is a prequel.
Fair enough. But I will say, I would excuse it more if it was literally just the 5, 6, 7 freedom fighters.
Yeah.
Okay, at that point, that's a manpower issue. Okay, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. But no, we've really well established that there is probably a society of hundreds.
There's literally a royal guard that's supposed to protect her.
Yeah, there should be like 2 attached to her at all times.
Yeah.
What the
yeah, I know. This is what I hate about things. Is they set up a world like this isn't like specific to Archie comics.
This is everything.
I hate when like writers, or not even writers, like maybe it's coming from like up high and whatnot. I don't know. You get, as writers, I know you get forced into shitty situations. You kind of have to write what you can. But at the same time, I get very frustrated when you set up rules in this world and you don't follow them. And not even just follow them, but like you set something up and then it instantly makes it so it doesn't make sense that like Sally doesn't have royal guards with her right now. It doesn't make sense that they didn't be like, hey, let's go grab a sneaky Sonic and have him sneak in here, because there's a world full of sneakers Sonic. Sneaky Sonics. Because we know
Sonic Snake.
So, yeah, hey, honestly, why didn't they go to the Metal Gear universe?
Sally. Boomer, stop pissing yourself.
Robo Gear?
There you go. I just want to listen to that Konami sound again. Do, 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 do. Yeah.
Overall thoughts.
I can't really judge it. Artistically, it's very clear that this is that there is so much more effort put into, and that's not I'm not shitting on the first story's illustration. That's more so like, hey, the budget was put into this one. Like clearly that one was the more detailed one that they had time to like go over.
Yeah, one second, I'm just double checking.
Yeah, penciled by
Dave Manach.
That could also be inking it because it's the fine details.
No, it's penciling.
Okay.
Because
okay, yeah, it's too fundamental.
Yeah,
right?
So
we're not artists, we're not illustrators, we don't know.
I think I've decided I really like Art Mawini's style, and I'm not a fan of Dave Manach's. Is it Manach? Manach.
I've been saying Manach.
Okay. That is Mawini has I don't know how to describe. I'm not an artistic person.
Takes this world seriously.
Honestly, yes. There is a more like griminess to his drawings that I like.
Look, it could just be a direction thing where it's like, yeah, let's do the silly stories, and we give that to the guy who does the silly stories, and then Art will give him the No,
because I feel like I felt that way with.
If you're trying to find the special.
Did he do the special?
I don't know. Keep going to the next marker. There. Art Mawini. Yeah, no. Mawini does the silly ones. He's done silly ones.
Yeah.
Silly stories. I think it's direction.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it is direction.
Like, Manach just hasn't had a chance to prove himself unless he also... in the favorites tab, I favorited the specials. Script penciling, but... Okay, Art Mawini did the quest. Stop. There's no credits. The only credits are at the beginning.
Yeah.
Sorry, and then who did Tails' Tallest Tale, inking?
No, penciling, Scott Shaw. Which, I mean, he hasn't done much.
He did the prequels.
Yeah.
And then that's it. The Mirror Zone, penciling by Patrick. Okay, that's a guess.
But I like the penciling of this one too. There's like you're right. There's like a seriousness to who was it? This was
Mawini. This is art. This is Art Mawini.
Yeah, there's a seriousness to Art Mawini's drawings that I like.
Yeah, whether or not it's because they specifically tagged him for it or not, because like, okay, we'll give this one to him. It's good. I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, so really, in terms of what we just read, that is, it's up in the air. We like the potential in it.
Yes.
There's some fine details that are silly. We rag on it. We rag on things way more than we should sometimes for the views, for the clicks, to keep your interest. But it's pretty good.
And if I don't do anything for the views or the clicks. This is literally my opinion.
That's true. No, you're right. But in terms of the if the next story is explaining everything, then I guess we can eat crow on that. But I don't know.
They have not been very good at explaining things.
We can't trust them yet.
Well, especially I feel like Ken did the miniseries, and I feel like he's already proven that he's not good at setting things up. So I feel like his execution is going to be rough. So
it's the problem is it's dual credits.
Yeah.
It's Ken Cernovich and Penders, so it's hard to tell who's who.
That is true. That is extremely valid. I guess we'll find out next issue.
Mm-hmm.
This is already ran long. Well, I guess after editing, I don't know how long it's going to be. But we should. It's already late, so no emails. And that's the issue. Only 454 left to go. I'm Nick. I stream at twitch.tv/Mojosaurus. My personal Twitter doesn't exist anymore.
You deleted it?
I deleted it. I was just like, after my ban, when I shit talked Elon Musk that one time, which is literally what happened. It wasn't even a shit talk. I feel like I said it on the podcast.
You were just like, what the fuck, Elon?
My For You page, I counted, out of 30 posts, 23 of them were Elon's posts. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck. Like, why? My tweet was literally, why is Elon 23 out of 30 of my posts on my For You page? And I think I had him blocked too.
Yeah.
That might not be true. I don't remember. I feel like he just goes in there and blocks himself massively at times. But I don't know. After this election, I'm not very comfortable having any socials on a platform owned by that man
who's going to be in the White House. But in terms of, it's so funny how you fear that, but also we have literally dozens of hours of content so far.
No, it's more just Elon in general. And also, I mean, this is clearly before the government mandated Twitter accounts become a thing and we start doing all of our banking through Twitter.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna happen.
You heard it here first. In 2 years, we'll all be posting on X with our real names, with our verified IDs.
Get your vaccines now.
Yeah, you won't ever get to do them again. So, I don't have a Twitter. My personal Blue Sky is at Mojosaurus.
And I'm Dominic. You can follow my jazz adventures in Chicago at Blue Collar Jazz, and my personal Blue Sky is at Domguan. Actually, no, it's just Domguan.
Should I delete that?
Domguan, sure. Domguan one was taken in Twitter. Or Domguan, or Domguan.
I gotcha. You can follow us on socials at Gotta Talk Fast. TikTok is Gotta Talk Faster. We're not deleting the X Gotta Talk Fast account. That'll probably just stay there, but we don't post on that anyway. We also have a video version of the podcast where you can follow along with panels and our handsome faces. You can write to the show at sonograms at gottatalkfast.com, ask us questions, provide corrections, and give us your opinion on this week's issue. And remember, when life keeps going fast, you gotta talk fast and just get through it. I love you.
Gotta talk, gotta talk.
Gotta Talk Fast was written by Nick Folkerts and edited by Dominic Guanzon. Intro and outro themes recorded by Dominic Guanzon. Gotta Go Fast originally composed by Norman J. Grossfeld, Joseph Garrity, and Russell Velasquez.
Gotta talk, gotta talk. Fast. Gotta talk, gotta talk. Fast. Gotta talk, gotta talk. Fast. Gotta talk. Gotta talk. Fast. Gotta talk. Fast. Gotta talk. Fast. Gotta talk.